I was heartbroken. I couldn't believe it, and so now, you know, um, I don't know. The relationship is not the same, you know. But what do you do when, you have family that has betrayed you, in a way that is like you could have never dreamt it, you could have never imagined it, nothing ever prepared you to deal with such a betrayal, you know. Because if it was me the other way around, I would have never, ever, ever, ever done that, and it sucks. It sucks. It's really sucks. It really, really sucks, friends. And so a part of my heart is broken, um, because, you just don't expect that, And for many of you, it may seem like, oh, no big deal, but it is a big deal. Not when you always put your best foot forward for family, and it's nothing that you wouldn't do. And to have them, just be so cavalier about, whatever. And so I blocked my sister. Initially, I blocked my cousin. I couldn't delete the app. Well, I couldn't delete my account on the app, so I deleted the app. I blocked everybody from the agency, and, life goes on. And so I'm back. Yeah, so anyway, friends, yeah, so that disloyalty that that I experienced from my family, I'm still in a state of shock. I'm still, I'm still angry. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I'm very angry, but I'm still somewhat angry. I'm hurt. I'm really hurt, and that's what hurts. No pun intended. That's what hurts the most. It's, being so devastated. Like, I would have never thought that, the outcome would be the outcome. Right now, my cousin is blocked. All right. I haven't spoken to him in over a month. um, I couldn't delete my account on that other platform. So the only thing I was able to do was delete the app. I blocked everybody from the agency. And I'm just trying to put back in a time on this platform, and I'm a little frustrated, and this is where I get angry at. And but then I think about like who I am, and I think about life in bigger terms. And so everything that happens is supposed to happen, because if it's not supposed to happen, then it wouldn't happen. And so that's kind of my philosophy. Hi, Ajar. Hi, welcome, friends. Hi, Barkalov. And so, I said to myself, imagine had I never went on that platform, and all those months that I, put in time, put in energy, um, I could have been putting into YouTube, perhaps, I would be a little further along. And again, so my thing is not like, I'm not here to be famous. I'm not here to, like, make money. It'll be nice if it happened, but that's not really my reason for being on YouTube. I have a purpose, I have a mission, and so that's all I'm trying to do. We are divine souls, we are the collective consciousness, and so that's really the gist of why I'm here. And so, but I feel like, it's important just to kind of touch in with you, friends, because guess what? We all got family, right? And we all have had issues with family, and my sister being like my best friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a chick that, got a lot of friends and all that type of stuff. Two friends from junior high school, females, and, we're kind of like, we lose contact, we get back in contact. Sometimes it's years go by, we don't speak, and it's no beef or it's no issues, but, they're with children and they're married, and I'm a single gal with no kids. And so, obviously our lives are very different, but, in terms of like family, that's something that, supposed to be, constant, supposed to be your safe space. And so when family is not family, that really could fuck up your world. You know what I'm saying? Because now it puts you in a space of, okay, well, now, like, who can I trust? You know what I'm saying? Like, who can I, really have confidence in? And if you can't have confidence in the people that, you came into this world knowing, with blood ties, it's a lot. And that's why I'm kind of, outside of the box thinker, because I feel like, family, it's family in terms of what society says, but I don't think it's family in terms of like truth. Because when you think about how family can betray each other, it's 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 hard to put in words, friends, but the blood is not thicker than water. It's really not, when you think about it. You see it, whether you know it personally, whether you've seen it depicted in the news or whatever. How a brother can kill their brother, how a sister can kill her sister, how a mom can kill her son, how a dad can kill his daughter. So when you think about this thing called family, what is family? It's a label, it's a term, but what does it mean? What does it mean? Does that mean that, okay, because they're family, that they're forever sealed with, and bonded to you, and like that? I don't know. I don't know, because see, you can meet people, right, that can make a huge impact on your life, and you will feel so comfortable with them, you will feel so relatable to them, and you would say to yourself, wow, it's just like I knew this person, or something that just feels so familiar. And they're not family, but somehow, you connect to them. And there is real love there, and there is real concern there, and it is loyalty there, and they're a friend, right? Or they're someone that's not allegedly connected to you by blood. So people have to understand. And so that's why I'm glad that it kind of happened, because, I was the type of person where, oh my God, it's family above anything. And oh my God, oh, my sister. And no, people, before people are these labels, people are people, okay? And people come into this, they come into this life with all of, the bad and the good. So, I think it's kind of foolish for people to just assume that, oh, because it's my family, that, oh my God, they're perfect, and I'll always, be in a safe space with them. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Um, Sometimes family can be the worst. Sometimes they can be the most dangerous. And and it's important to know that. And so I say all of that to say, friends, that I still love my sister very much. I love her deeply. I'll always love her, but the dynamics just will never be the same. And I'm grateful for that, because again, I was the type of person, oh my God, my sister, like, I want to give her my last. If I have $1, I want to give her 75 cents. She's my big sister, and she's been, when there's money, that's not cool. That's not cool, and it hurts. It hurts because, and see, again, it goes to that old adage, you can't control anyone but yourself. And as much as I'm like, oh man, that's my sister, da 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 da, she has her own mind. She has her own energy, her own feelings, her own issues. And so, what can I do with that? But love her. And so now I just know that the relationship will never be the same. Unfortunately, it just won't. And it's not money. I don't want anybody to think, oh my God, you You don't deal with your sister anymore because of money. No, it's not money, friends. It's not money. It's a fact of the matter that, listen, I have boundaries. You understand? I have boundaries. And I don't care if you're my sister or, the man in the moon. You know, if you show me that, you're not a loyal person, or that you don't have the values, then I mean, I don't need that in my life. And I don't care who you are. I'm willing to stand alone in this life. I was born, well, I wasn't born, but I came into this place, you know, solo. So, and when it's time for me to leave, I'm gonna leave solo. So, you know, um, it's important just to, continue to know who you are. And so my thing is that's not going to change me. Like, I'm still kind, I'm still the person I am, but I'm just a little bit more cautious now, and even as it relates to family. Yeah. And so, like I said, I still love my cousin. I still wish him all the success. I hope that he does amazing, that he continues to do big numbers on that platform. He continues to make, nice money, good money for himself, and that's it. But at the end of the day, I know me personally, you know, I'm not a person that would, betray anybody for any reason. And so I'm not going to accept that from anyone, family or not. And so that brings me to another topic of family, which is my brother. Oh my God. The girlfriend is a very, very, very grimy, low down, and dirty bitch. Okay, excuse my language. I know it's very early in the morning. I don't want to be up in here cussing, but she's a cunt. Okay, this girl is she's so low down. She's such a scumbag that she takes joy and pleasure in having conflict, causing conflict between my brother and myself. And this is something that's already happened years and years and years and years ago. And so the relationship now with my brother is, we're good. We weren't speaking for several years over this rat, low down, dirty cunt. She's a worthless bitch. Um, she's a little older than me, doesn't work, doesn't clean. Um, just a real low life. And so she's older than my brother. And, it's very disappointing to see my brother with somebody like her, which, you know, in life, depending on the relationships you get, like certain relationships can bring you down. You get with somebody, and before you know it, your life is spiraling. Everything fucks up. You were doing good, and then, fast forward it 2, 3 years later, you have half of what you had when you met the person. You got all these issues. You suddenly you're just surrounded by problems and this and that. You got to be careful, friends, guys and girls. The wrong relationship can fuck your life up, can fuck you up. And so it's important to be mindful. You know, some people come in to fuck your life. They don't come in to better it. They come in to fuck it up. And you don't know until they fucked it up. And so with this chick, she's a very negative person. Like I said, don't work, don't have nothing going for herself. And my brother, he works every day, right? But I feel like his life is just like in the pits because of this chick. Um, Wow. Okay, Malachi, staying off the grid. Oh, I would love that. I would love, love, love staying off the grid. Yeah, that would be cool. But anyway, so she caused a rift between my brother and I, maybe over, I would say at least 10 years ago. And so he and I didn't speak probably for about over 3 years. And my sister had came in state because she lives out of state. She had came in town, and so we had went to visit him because my sister had a daughter, and so she brought her daughter and her husband, and they came up back to NY. My brother lives in NY. I don't live in NY. My cousin lives in NY. I don't live in NY. Anyway, so they come up, and so we go to it's my brother's girlfriend's apartment. It's not his apartment, it's her apartment. So we go to their apartment. And so that's the first time that we had spoken, like a few years or whatever. And so, anyway, long story short, this past last summer, my sister came up, visited me in the new state that I live in, new place and everything. And so we went back to New York to visit um, my brother again. So we got up with my brother, his girlfriend. We all went to the casino, and it's nothing worse than when you have to pretend with somebody. You understand? And that really really gets under my skin. Like, I don't like it. I'd rather not be around if I have to pretend. And so it was just so uncomfortable to pretend, like everything is kumbaya with this bitch, when I know that she has been a driving force behind the instability and the craziness and the negativity as it relates to me and my brother, right? And so now, um and so my sister had a 50th birthday, right, this past March, right? So we all went out of town to my sister's um place, and so she was there, the girlfriend. And so her birthday is in June. So now she's pretending, oh yeah, we're gonna do Vegas, and I want you to come, and this and that and that and this. And so then they get back at me. Oh no, we're not gonna do Vegas. We just gonna stay in New York, this, that, and the third. But we trying to get something together. We'll let you know. Needless to say, I wasn't gonna go had they reached back out to me. But they never reached back out to me, which I knew from the beginning that it was all a bunch of this. It wasn't, that she's just a lying ass bitch. And she's just trying to save face in front of my brother. She's trying to pretend to play nice, but deep down, you know what it is. You know when somebody is their true motives. And, especially when you're somebody like me that has, like, strong intuition, that you can read energy very, very well. So I knew it was all a bunch of bullshit. But I played along, for the sake of it. And so I didn't hear nothing back from her. And then this past weekend, I think it was like Friday or Thursday, she said, she sent me a text message. I didn't even know it was her because I guess she got a new number or something. But with her fakeness, oh sis, um, oh, I know your birthday coming up because my birthday's in August this month, the end of the month. Oh, I know you doing something. Da, 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 da. I didn't even respond. And at that point, I just blocked her. Because let me tell you something, friends. At this point in my life, I'm 44, going to be 45 at the end of this month. If the divine so wills it. I don't need to pretend about anything. I'm not pretending for nobody. Period. So if it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. But I'm not bending over. I'm not I'm not shrinking myself anymore for anybody. Period. I'm not dimming my light for anybody. I'm not playing coy. I'm not going to be a wallflower for anybody to feel good about themselves. If you can't take the light, then go stay in the darkness where you belong. It ain't for you. But I'm not gonna like bend over, you know, for anybody. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And if that means that I have to rock this world by myself until my time is up, then guess what? I'm more than willing to do that. I am by nature a hermit. I am a Virgo. So I'm well within my element. So I'm good. I'm good. What I think about are the people that realize, wow, you messed up. And when you mess up, that's it. For me, I'm not the type of person that's gonna continue to let people give people third and fourth and fifth chances. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. It's called boundaries, it's called respect, it's called self-love, awareness. Yes, all of those things. I'm not doing that. And so for many of y'all, you want to fit in, you want to be liked, you want to be, noticed, you want to be loved. No, I'm good. I have so much love inside of me for me, myself, and for the whole world. So I'm good. I don't, I'm good. And so I'm happy right now. To be honest, I'm very happy. Even talking right now with you friends, I'm happy. I'm feeling a lot of positive energy because at the end of the day, you know, who is this life about? Is it about everybody else or is it about the individual, me, or you? Who is it about? Who matters more? Everybody else or you? Well, maybe everybody else matters to you, but I matter to me. And so it's with that idea, that attitude, that that notion that you know what, it's about me and I'm putting myself first. And so, listen, if I deal with disloyalty from family, hey, it happened. I move on. Life goes on. You know, it won't happen again. It takes a fool to learn. And so, hey, listen, I play, I'm over my fool stage. Now I'm at the beginning, and that's it. And so, I don't know, friends, what's going on with you? Have you ever had conflict with family? Have you ever been betrayed by a family, by someone that's very close to you, someone that you had all of your love and faith and admiration for, someone you looked up to, and they let you down? How did you deal with that? How did you deal with that? I would love to know, because this is the collective. And so obviously it's all about, everyone's experiences, right? And we are, all divine souls. So obviously that means that we all are having this physical experience on this 3D plane. But, how's it been? I mean, you got people that don't speak to family. Like when I was younger and I would like watch TV and stuff and I would hear people like, like Unsolved Mysteries, one of my favorite shows, right? Back in the day and to this day, right? And so like they would have something on there. Oh, well, Laura hadn't spoken to her mother in nearly 3 decades, And I used to be like, oh my God, like how can somebody not speak to their mother for almost 30 years? Or, you know, um, there was a fight between, brothers and one walked away and, they haven't spoken in 25 years. I used to be like, oh my God, because I really revered, I really loved my siblings so much. Like the way my mom raised us, we all had the same dad, four of us, same mom, same dad. And so, there was always a really strong closeness with us. And one thing my mom, because she and her siblings always kind of had like a dysfunctional relationship. And one thing she always taught us is like, please, y'all always stay together. Literally on her dying bed, she just reiterated, please, y'all stay together. Make sure y'all always be there for each other. So a part of me, now gets the tricky part. Now here comes you know, it gets a little tricky right here because a part of me feels like, damn, I wonder how my mom is feeling. Obviously she's not here in the physical, but she's still here. And so I'm saying to myself, the last thing I ever wanted to do was disappoint my mom. She and I being so close, Virgo, 6 days apart birthdays. I mean, like the mirror images of each other. And I was a real mommy's girl. And so that part, it hurts. That part that brings the sadness. That brings the melancholy feelings when I say to myself, I'm not really honoring my mom's wish, but, you know, my mom knows who I am, obviously, and I feel like, you know, she understands. You understand? She definitely understands. Like I said, I don't hate my sister. I don't hate my brother, but they're just two people in my life that I realize are just not. They're not prominent figures in my life. They're not the most important figures in my life, and they should be because I don't have children and I'm not married. So my siblings should be the most important thing, but they're not. And that's the sad part, because I'm a lover, I'm a family girl, you know. I can remember bragging about my sister so much when I was like a little kid, like in elementary and junior high school. Like I used to alienate the out of my friends. They would be like, "Oh my God, like can you shut up about your sister? Like like everything's about your sister." And it used to be, "Oh, my sister this, my sister that." I was so proud of her, so like wanted to be like her, and to know that she chose money, over, in essence, over me. It's just it's a hard pill to swallow, friends. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm still dealing with it. I mean, like I said, I'm a little angry still, and the only reason why I'm a little angry because I would never, ever, I would have never ever done that to her. And so, and even with my brother, for him to let this dirty rat bitch come into his life and to turn it upside down with me personally, because he and I were the closest. We're the closest in age out of all of my siblings. We're 4 years apart. Me and this kid would stay on Bobby Simmons. I don't know who on here is from New York City, okay? Who's from the hood. But back in the day, they had a show called, well, there was a show, Simmons, right? Flavor Videos. And he's a dude, I think he was from like an old rap group called Stethasonic, which was way, listen, I was born in 80. And so I never knew about him until he had the video show. And his name was Bobby Simmons. Wherever you at, Bobby, in the universe, shout out to Bobby Simmons. Just the most funniest guy. Charismatic, funny, a little corny, but from Brooklyn, right? So big Brooklyn. And so he and I would stay up. We would take bets to see who could stay up the longest. Bobby Simmons Flavor Videos, it didn't come on till like maybe 2 in the morning sometimes, maybe 3 in the morning. It was on the late night. So anybody that knows, that grew up in, in New York City in the 90s, in the hood, you knew about Flavor Videos, Bobby Simmons. And so we would literally make bets to see who could stay up longest to wait, for the Bobby Simmons show to come on. And so I never forget, this is when the Lost Boys first came out. And the video, the song, Lex Cruz, the Beamers and the Bands, and that video came on, and oh my goodness, so it's like 4 in the morning, and it's summertime, I think, at that time. Oh, I know school was out, and so literally, we're making bets to see who can stay up the longest to catch Bobby Simmons, and so they had to play that video, Lex Cruz's Beamers and the Bands, at least like 30 times back to back. And so that show, Flavor Videos, you could call up, make a request, give a shout out or whatever. And so Bobby Simmons was so hilarious. Like I said, a little kind of cheesy, but so funny. And I mean, we would do things like that. We would go out so many places. People would think that he and I were boyfriend and girlfriend. It's like, really? Like he's tall and light skinned. Like I'm brown skin and shorter than him. So it was just awesome. Like we had the best times, we would go places, we would go shopping. Like he was my best friend, my sister was my best friend. And I don't have that anymore. So it's all good. I can't wait to get me a puppy, because that's the thing. And so where I live, that we can't have pets. And so I can't wait to move and be able to get my little furry buddy. And then, I think that that little furry pup is going to bring a lot of love to my life, a lot of joy to my life. And I can't wait. I really can't wait. But yeah, so friends, I mean, family, family's not always family. And, it's important to really love yourself, to know who you are, and to be confident on your own. Because, as you know, family sometimes is not family. And so if you put all of your trust, all of your hope, all of your faith into family, then You will be disappointed. And so, what I would suggest is put all of that faith, all of that love, and all of that trust into you. You, soldier boy. Okay? Well, friends, my train is here. I will get with you guys and girls on lunch. Live at lunch. I'll go live. All right? Until next time, have a good day, friends. Stay in the light. Conscious ones. Peace.